Welcome to the Ironworth Trading Show. I'm your host, Coach Price, and this is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. Tabitha, how you doing? You came right on time, Tabitha. I don't think I ever went live and you came in as soon as I got started before. I mean, literally, I just pressed the go live button not even a whole 60 seconds ago. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hey. You know, I actually miss y'all. I ain't been on in a few days. My apologies. But it's all right. I got some good stuff to go over tonight. We're going to talk about the companies that have earnings coming out in the next 2 days. And we also, I've been doing some 1v1s. I've been doing a lot of 1v1s, Tabitha. I've been working with a few of the VIP people, you know what I'm saying, on a personal level. But all is well. I could have at least been making content, right? And momentum is one of those things that as soon as you slow down with momentum, you lose the momentum, right? So that's why, greetings, private. So that's why I really don't like, slowing down with making content on here or going live, because as soon as you do, TikTok will punish you. But it will reward you for consistency. So right now what y'all looking at is a SPY chart, the S&P 500, right? So this pretty much tracks the entire market for the most part, because it has the 500 best companies in the United States in it. All right, so before I get started, I want to share my live out to a couple more people. Let me just add it to my story. All right, so look, whenever the stock market is in all-time highs like it is right now, the first thing I want all of y'all to know is all-time highs are not rare, okay? It's not rare. When I say all-time highs, it's basically this is a moment where everything is the highest it has ever been for the most part. This is the highest the stock market has ever been priced, okay? So it is normal in a long-term upward market, okay? All-time highs are normal in a long-term upward market. That's what this is. The market is literally designed to spend a lot of time making new highs over decades because inflation exists. That's why I tell people all the time, your money is not doing you no justice in the savings account or in the mattress or in the closet. It's actually being eaten by inflation, okay? Now, productivity will grow, companies innovate, and earnings tend to rise over time. So if you see the stock market at an all-time high and your brain automatically think, oh, it got to come down, it got to crash at some point, right? Well, you're not thinking like an investor or a professional trader at that point. You're thinking like a human who assumes everything good must end immediately. And that is not the case. Okay? It's a charming personality trait to have, but that's a terrible trading strategy, ladies and gentlemen. All-time high, right? Whenever you hear, hey, the market is at all-time high, that basically means the price has reached a level it has never closed above before. That's it. It don't mean that it's overbought by definition. It don't mean that the next candle is red. What it does mean, though, is that you are in a zone where there is no historical price resistance above you. This is for crypto, Forex, futures, stock options. It don't matter. Whenever something is in an all-time highs, there is no historical price resistance above it, meaning there is no ceiling. There is no previous level to where how high this could go, because the price has never been there. So you're not fighting old bag holders, right? Old bag holders. What do I mean by that? Sometimes the market can shoot up like this and you get a lot of people who jump in right here at this level, right? And when it come back down, these people will hold that position until it gets back up there. What up, JoJo? What up, JoJo? My bad. I ain't see you. How long you been in here? Who we got in the chat? V, what it do? Juju, what up? Tabitha, private, y'all still there? What up, y'all? While I'm yapping, I need y'all tapping. You know what's up. You feel me? Not too much, though. Not too much. I don't want y'all to break a nail or nothing. Don't want y'all to break a nail. Okay, cool. Bet. Just making sure we still tapped in. You know how we is over here. We got to learn. We engage. Everybody active, right? We don't set goals. We set activities. The root word in activity is active. We got to remain active. All right. So, like I was saying, you not fighting old bag holders whenever it's at all-time highs. These are people who bought at the top years ago and are waiting to get back even, right? They trying to get their money back because they got in at the high and it came down. Which one of the high flyers you got said? Jojo. A data center, a data center REIT. It was $21 when I got in. It's like 25, 26. I'm also gonna talk about I'm gonna talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma at the end of the show. But yeah, I'm gonna go over the earnings season in a couple of minutes. But look, this is why breakouts at all-time highs can become a powerful trend, right? Let me get this together. Silver, Jojo, silver. Hey, put a W in the chat if y'all made money off silver. Lulu, what it do? If y'all think silver is over with, you're mistaken. Okay? Silver is not done. You did not miss. You probably missed out on being an early investor in it, but it ain't over with. What up, Lulu? You might want to try to get it on the dip, but it ain't over with. Half a dozen times. That's what's up. My man said the whole, no doubt, private. I'm talking about like big returns. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. Silver and copper and rare earth minerals have a big role in AI, ladies and gentlemen. So if you believe in the future of artificial intelligence, then you should invest in the infrastructure. That's like believing in the future of cars when they first came out and being smart enough to invest in, I don't know, concrete, right? Or invest in the road, the infrastructure. The infrastructure. All right. So the reason why a bunch of rookies, all right, the reason all-time highs confuse rookies is because they looking for a fair price to get in at. They want the chart to feel like, I don't know, a used car negotiation or some shit. I don't know. Like you got to come back down to a reasonable number or something just for them. The market don't give two fucks about your definition of reasonable, ladies and gentlemen. It cares about liquidity, expectations, earnings, which we about to talk about in a few minutes, rates, what else? Positioning. And the story that investors are buying into. And right now we buying into the story of silver. Somebody says, look into LAC, LASE, USAR, NUAI, and NOK. Okay. Dollar cost average in. See, I love my community. Section letting y'all know, you feel me? Those are facts. Those are facts. So a professional is not going to argue with the tape. We're gonna when you got to pay attention, like when everything aligned that I just named, the price can keep going up and up and up and up and up, and it's gonna make people mad for waiting longer than you expect. So we don't argue with the film, with the tape. We're gonna say, what regime are we in, and what are the likely paths from here? What's more likely gonna happen from here? And when you're dealing with an index like the S&P 500, and when it's at an all-time high, it often means the broad institutional money is comfortable owning the risk involved. This can happen during economic expansion, like what Orange Man been bringing in. It could happen during fall and rate expectations, like what just happened between Jerome Powell. Not they didn't raise the rates. We got strong earnings. And so we dealing with a melt up situation, okay? Not a meltdown, a melt up. Everybody chasing performance. You're going to also see all-time highs when big money is forced to put money into this shit because they got money sitting around and yeah, sitting in cash. That they got capital sitting in cash that's going to become a career risk to them. Fund managers, they don't get paid to be cautious forever. They get paid to keep up. So yeah, they're forced to. Sometimes that just mean they buy late and pretend that it was they plan to buy late the whole damn time. I've seen it happen. So yeah, Private said Jerome was so boring to watch today. I couldn't do it, Private. Don't discount Intel on a bigger dip. I'm about to actually talk about that too. So yeah, at all-time highs, it's usually three major outcomes that I really want y'all to pay attention to. All right, so listen, hear me out. Ay caramba, hear me out. Continuation. You want to pay attention to continuation whenever we are at all-time highs. You want to look out for consolidation. You want to look out for correction. I'm gonna say it again. Them the three C's, triple C's. You know. Listen, don't get me start rapping. Fat. What? At all-time highs, there are usually three major outcomes you need to pay attention to. Continuation, which means that this shit could keep going up from here. Consolidation, which means that it might go sideways from here. Or correction, which means that it could come back down. A market correction, okay? Continuation is the market doing what trends do. It just keep on trending. The trend is your friend until what, ladies and gentlemen? Until the end, right? So it'll pull back a little, then it'll make another high. All right, who everybody know what consolidation is. I Caramba says, so you are a trend and support and resistance trader. I Caramba, so you are a try to put somebody in a category trader, huh? You can't put me in no box, I Caramba. I know how to do that, but that ain't, I don't know what you mean by that. That's some shit y'all making up. Oh, you are a support and resistance trader. What the hell? You are an order flow trader. I don't know what you mean by that, pal. MU got more fight to look at after market. Okay, yeah, MP too. MP as well. What the fuck is JoJo? Somebody says I'm new and I'm really wanting to learn. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get back to the point. My point is, whenever the stock market is at all-time highs, watch out for three things. It could keep going, it could go sideways, or it could fall back down. It's super simple, okay? Consolidation is when the market goes sideways. So if you ever hear somebody say something about consolidation or consolidating, that means that it's going sideways right now. And it usually goes up a lot or down a lot after it has been consolidating for a while, okay? So consolidation is when it goes sideways and it digests the gains that just happened. The price chops while the moving averages catches up, and then the excitement cool down, volatility come down. A lot of y'all get IV crushed, but that's another story, right? Correction is when the price finally pulled back. So we went over continuation, we went over consolidation. Now I'm telling you about correction. Correction is when the price finally pulled back enough to reset the position and to reset the sentiment. Any questions? What is the best time of the day to start trading? Miss, was it Andre? Miss 95. I guess not at the opening bell, Miss 95. Soon as it open, you got a lot of volatility. Wait about 15 minutes and see where it's going from there. If you want to get right in, if you want to, it's your preference. I can't give you the answer to that, but there are good times. You got rush. You got the what they call it, power hour. You right. You got a lot of volatility. I guess my answer to that question is during volatility. You want volatility. That's what you want. It ain't a specific cookie cutter time. You looking for certain things. Hey Peaches, how you doing? You want a lot of volume. You do not want to be in the middle of a trade, low volume, low implied volatility, low liquidity. You see what I'm saying? Having low liquidity is like it's like having a lemonade stand and on a street that's not busy. Okay. High liquidity is when you got a lemonade stand on a busy street. The more cars, the easier it is to sell. Okay. I hope that makes sense. But now, like I was saying, you just want to pay attention to those three things and that'll help you out. The rookie mistake is assuming that correction is guaranteed and that it's supposed to happen right away. All right, Andrea. I'm sorry. Thank you. Andrea. I like how you helped me say it right. Andrea. Andrea. Yeah, if I fuck y'all name up, feel free to do exactly what Andrea did, and I will say it right. I will never say it wrong again, because I will butcher your name if you don't. Bull on top, we bull on top. Yeah, I fuck with we bull Nas, and I like the fact that it's under $10 a share. I think that that they got a bright future. That it'll be worth as much as Robin Hood is one day, right? This is just my speculation though. But anyways, like I was saying, you don't want to assume that this shit supposed to come right back down because it's at all-time highs. I need y'all to have a professional mindset when you looking at this, and you need to recognize that all three outcomes I just named are possible. All three outcomes are possible. It could go up more, a.k.a. continuation. It could go sideways, a.k.a. consolidation, or it could correct itself. Correction. It could come back down. Somebody said, got a good day today with Micron Tech. I know that's right, Silos. Yes, I do. That new beginners can join. Yes, it is the link is in my bio. Yeah, the link is in my bio. All right, so to make a long story short, you just want to keep that in mind that all three of those are possible. So the key concept that'll make everything I just said click, y'all, is the risk changes at all-time highs. All right, keep that in mind. The risk is going to change whenever the prices is at all-time highs. It doesn't automatically increase in a straight line. People think new highs equals maximum risk, but sometimes new highs are actually lower risk. It's lower risk than buying the middle of a messy ass range. I'm saying that because the trends are cleaner, the narrative is stronger, the buyers are in control, and the trade-off is that the pullbacks can be sharp and sudden, but when the positioning gets crowded, okay, a small disappointment can trigger profit taking. The motherfuckers will start pressing sell in a heartbeat. And that's why it's your duty to make sure that you understand risk management, and you need to understand what everybody else's expectations is. And yeah, I'm not here to scare people out of good markets. I just want you to pay attention. All right, so we also got to talk about why pullbacks happen near all-time highs. A lot of people, jump in at all-time highs and then they forget that this shit could pull back. You could get in right now while everything is up and it could pull back. And I'm not trying to make it sound mystical or nothing. Like, pullbacks often come from people taking profit. So were you talking VWAP? No, I'm not talking the volume weighted average price. No, I'm not, because I took the VWAP off. I took all the indicators off this chart just to give y'all the demonstration about all-time highs. So Divine, we just kind of focusing on the topic of what to expect whenever the stock market is at all-time highs. This applies for Forex as well, or crypto, futures. It doesn't matter. Whenever something is near its all-time high, right? That means the price has reached a level it has never closed above before. That's it. Okay? So a pullback happens near all-time highs from people taking profit. They just made a lot of money, so they press and sell, or they rebalancing, some of them hedging. Big money, the whales, they like to lock in the gains. Take the money off the table, not because they know a crash is coming. You teaching the basics. I love it. Yeah, for sure. And we'll get to the advanced part. I do teach the advanced part, but I do like to teach the basics too, And we gotta have a little fun with it. I cut somebody out every now and then. Feel me? We wait, break, and retest, then back up. Yeah, that's right, Christina. That's exactly what we do. And we wait. We want to see the price break above or below. We want to see it retest. We want to see confirmation levels, right? We want to see confirmation. We want to see confluence, right? And if y'all don't know what that word is, do a little bit of the work. Do some research. Here, I type it in the y'all. Somebody type it in the chat for me. Confluence. CONFLUENCE. Okay. Go look that word up, learn it, study it, use it, Stop trading with one eye closed and shit. Sports bets said nobody on gold. No, we're not talking about gold right now. But you can type it up in the comment section. Say what you got to say. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I almost said heard your peace. All right, so look, volatility. We got to talk about that as well. Some funds have rules, like if an allocation grows too large because the price rose, then they gotta sell to rebalance. And the options markets also affect this. Okay, so around key levels, dealers and hedgers can amplify moves, and that's a lot of that. We've been seeing a lot of that happen. The volatility can compress during a grind up, and then one surprise headline can trigger a fast move. Why? Because everybody was positioned the same way. Everybody was in a $700 call. Everybody was in a, I don't know, 690 put. I don't know, however you want to put it. You just need to understand that slow up and fast down is a common rhythm, not a conspiracy. It might take the stairs up and it'll take the elevator down. Yes, L Blueberry. Yes. Y'all got some hilarious names. But yes, SPY did what it did today. It did what it did. Hit all-time highs. Bring the evidence to support where it's going. Yes. So when you looking at, I'm gonna also tell you, like, this the non-rookie truth. In a strong bull trend, can anybody in the chat tell me how long does an average bull run last? Who knows how long is a real bull market? How long does a real bull run last? Also, who can tell me what is a bull run? Mizell said, where you been hiding at? Look, hey, you get my number now. You better get my number. I've been talking to the people who got my number, right? The exclusive, the premium team. Hit my line, Jack. Cause TikTok filters me. I can't do what I want. Come on in the Discord. You feel me? You can hit me up at any time. I'm talking about you can message me at 3:00 in the morning if you join the community. Somebody says, we've been in a bull market for the last 2 years, says Divine. Because what does a real bear market look like? How do we know? You hit the link in the bio. I thought you've been in there, Mazel. Anyways, in a strong bull trend, bad news. What happens to bad news in a real bull trend? Somebody says pullback more than 8%. What is a bull run? Okay, good question. A bull run is when the market takes the fuck off in the upwards direction. Excuse my French. A bull is going to attack you in an upwards motion. A bear is going to attack you in a downwards motion. Okay? So in a bullish trend, the market is going up. In a bearish trend, the shit is going down. Bull market, it goes up for a long time. And a bull run is going up for a long time. This is, like parabolic moves. Go look up the word parabolic. Parabolic. What up, world scholar? Thank you for joining. The horns go up in an attack with the bulls, and the paws swipe down with the bears. Excuse me. So yeah, in a strong bull trend like the one we in now, the bad news gets ignored and the good news gets rewarded. So in a weak market, the good news gets sold and the bad news gets punished. That's how you identify the regime, for lack of a better word. At all-time highs, where we at now, if the market keep holding up, even through scary headlines. And I'm gonna keep buying the dips. That's how I look at it. I buy the dips. I don't look at the red candlesticks with fear when I see what it's doing on that level. That's strength. If the market start failing on good news, breaking key support levels, right? Let me see if I missed a question. Breaking key support levels, like falling down, going breaking the previous level of support, and it broke this strong ass level of support, and the rallies keep getting sold, then that lets me know that the environment is shifting. The price action is gonna always tell me the truth. I do not have to guess what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Learn price action. Study price action. Study price action. A lot of y'all know pattern recognition already. If somebody slap the shit out of you on Tuesday, every Tuesday they slap the shit out of you. Come on, one of these Tuesdays you gonna realize what's finna happen. You start paying attention to the behavior and the patterns and act accordingly. Stop staying and losing trades longer than you supposed to because you believe some shit finna happen or you just plain delusional, right? So when you explaining why you lost this money, why the market took it from you, just know that the market didn't take shit from you. You gave it to the market. All right, we in all-time highs. You have to separate the market from a stock though. All right, an index at all-time highs is diversified. Right, we looking at a lot of companies right now when we looking at the S&P 500. This is a basket of stocks. This is not one stock. It is a basket of stocks. This is a folder of stocks. This can grind higher even if some of the stocks inside of it is weak. We just talked about that the other night in my homegirl live. We talked about the Mag 7. JoJo said forming a steep upward curve on a chart common in financial markets, right? So a single stock at all-time highs is a different animal. Okay, so when you're dealing with a single stock when it's at its all-time highs, that stock can be there and at that level for a great reason. Maybe they just had strong earnings, right? I don't know. But the easiest way for you guys to understand what I'm saying is you need to understand the breadth without getting overwhelmed. Breadth is basically me saying, are many stocks participating or is it just a few giants that's dragging this whole index up? If it's a broad thing and you just look at a heat map or something, if all the stocks is rallying up, it's healthy. If only a few of them is holding the market up right at that moment, then the index can still hit highs, but the foundation of it is thin. That don't mean sell everything. That just means manage your risk because the market is more fragile than what it looked like. They will eventually consolidate as companies will start to be absorbed. That's right. JoJo been in the game long enough, y'all. So, a lot of my helpers inside the comment section, these are good friends of mine, and they know what the hell they talking about. It's like a conglomerate. So, take notes. Take notes. I also wanted to teach y'all leadership and rotation. So when you in a strong market, the leadership rotates. The technology stocks will run, then the financials catch a bid, the industrials, the healthcare sector will take off, then consumer and so on. So rotation is the market staying healthy while different groups take turns being the engine. So if there is no rotation and the leadership is narrowing, then you get a more unstable rally. Again, not doom, just awareness. Like, right, there's a lot of factors, a lot of variables to take into account. East meets Westy. But the problem is people want to trade stock options, trade futures, trade Forex, and fuck with crypto and claim to be bad at math. But no, you don't need to be good at math to buy this shit. No, don't get me wrong. But I mean, shit, there's levels to comprehension, right? You just going, I guess anybody can press buy or sell, right? But to not know volume, to not know volatility, and to be in this game, something is wrong. So take notes right now. When the market drifts to all-time highs on low volatility, that's common. That's just a calm uptrend. But when the volatility is too low for too long, that can set up for a sudden shakeout because everybody too comfortable. Also, learn how to use the VIX. How many of y'all use the good old VIX and it help you? How many of y'all don't know what the VIX is? VIX, the volatility index. Look it up. Yep, the VIX. So we going to talk about these companies that got earnings. Okay. How many of y'all already made money this week off the earnings that then already came out? Do y'all see any company that's about to have earnings and you already made that you already own? Drop a W in the chat and let me know which one of these stocks you already own. Right? Hit the follow button, y'all. Hit the follow button if you would like for me to explain to you earning season and what is earning season. Are you tired of hearing people talk about earning season and you don't know what the fuck going on? Hit the follow button, tap the screen a few times, and I got you. SoFi is a good one, JoJo. I got a soft spot in my heart for SoFi. I actually think it's a great company, like to use. A lot of companies, I actually use the products, so I'm not just I'm an investor. Explain, please. Okay, I got you, Gaga. I got you. So, earning season is, yes, you do. I'm aware of your position. Oil. Okay, so earning season is when publicly traded companies report their financial results. Okay, so I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. You have these companies, they are publicly traded, okay, and they damn near are obligated to report their financial results for the quarter. Every quarter, they tell you what's going on with their money. And they give the whole market an update on what they expect going forward. This is called earnings season. So think of it like the stock market's report. It's like they got a report card or a truth serum, okay? Every other week, people argue off rumors. We talk about charts and headlines. Earnings forces the company to show the receipts, the revenue, the profit, the margins, the cash flow, the guidance. And guidance is the key word, ladies and gentlemen. Guidance is the key word because the market is not paying for what the fuck happened last quarter. The market is paying for what investors believe will happen next. So this is why you will see a stock. You'll hear somebody say, "Oh, that company beat earnings," and then the damn stock is still dropped. Right? It beat the past, but the future it wasn't exciting enough. As a rookie, I don't want y'all to take that personal and spiral out of control trading these stocks during earnings times, because you will soon learn and overstand that you will learn expectations versus reality. All right, so I'm gonna go over it so that y'all don't, feel confused, right? Revenue is total sales. That's the top line. So whenever they will tell you about their revenue, they're going to tell you about their EPS. The EPS stands for earnings per share. That's the profit divided by the shares. Like the bottom line per share. So margins is going to tell you how efficient the company is. The gross margin is what's left after the direct cost of making the product or whatever the fuck they selling, or if they delivering a service. Okay. Operating margin is going to show how well the business runs after expenses. Net margin is what's left after everything. This is for my entrepreneurs. Y'all should know this information too, because you deal with this on your day-to-day operations. Free cash flow is cash left after the company pays its operating costs, the capital expenditures. It's basically quote unquote real money that the company can use for dividends, buybacks. They might need to pay down some debt. Thank you, JoJo. I appreciate that. Or they may reinvest it. Right. And then you got guidance. That's what I was just telling y'all about. This is the company telling you what they think the next quarter or year might look like. OK, when you trade in earnings, the number one thing you want to look out for is volatility. I'm going to say it again. Around earnings season, volatility can either be your friend or you can get crushed. OK, you can get crushed. Earnings season is basically volatility season wearing a business suit. Who don't know what volatility means? Don't be shamed. I'm not going to continue talking until I make sure everybody knows. Drop a W in the chat if you would like to know what volatility means. And if you already know what it means, go ahead and tell them in the chat. What's up? What's up? Y'all woke? Y'all woke? Look alive. Okay. There we go. Okay. He said spill the beans. Look. Volatility is how much the price moves. Volatility is how much the price moves. Volatility is, JoJo said, is the uncertainty mixed with market conditions and sentiment. Hubert said volatility is the rapid onset growth or price action. Or price action due to an event or market conditions. Okay? They telling you in the comment section. Everybody's right. Cringe 808 is right as well. Okay? So volatility mean this shit finna go up a lot or it's finna go down a lot. When people say this stock is volatile, they mean that it could swing hard in either direction. There are two types that y'all need to understand. We got realized volatility. That's what the stock actually did recently. And then we got implied volatility. I'm going to say it again. Realized volatility. What the stock actually did for all you Delulu people is what it actually did, okay? Realized volatility. Not what you think it's going to do. Not implied volatility. Implied volatility, okay? a.k.a. IV. When you see IV, it's talking about implied volatility. That's what the options market expects the stock to do, right? Especially going into earnings. Implied volatility will usually rise because traders are buying protection or we betting on a move. As simple as that. After earnings is over, implied volatility will go down. It will collapse. You still holding that contract, your ass is grass, Mr. Postman. That drop is called the IV crush. That's what I've been telling y'all about. This is how you gonna get robbed blind. Even when you was right about the direction. I gave a 2-hour seminar on how you can lose money, even though you was right about the direction because you didn't pay attention to this one Greek. Y'all understand? If you don't, go. Any questions? Any questions? I'm throwing away this chair. It's so comfortable, but it's squeaky. I had people complain to me on YouTube like, yo, what's up with that squeaky ass chair? Listen, mind your business, man. This chair been in the family for a minute. Mama gave me that change. Will you say that again, please? Okay, I will move your mountains. Volatility. Where you want me to start from? Just put some water on that. She said, you better put some water. JoJo said, you better put some water on that shit. He said, just use some oil. Okay. Slide some oil to me. Face side. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get back on topic. What is a Greek? A Greek is something you should pay attention to if you are trading stock options. You have gamma. You have delta. You have, what else, y'all? Come on, help me out. Theta. Okay, each one is a variable that you should pay attention to. It's like, I'm the analogy king, but I don't really feel like finding no analogy on this one. On some real lazy shit, I'm finna just simplify it for you. Delta is how much that contract is changing in value. Theta is the price of doing business. It's how much you losing every day that contract is open. Gamma is how much the delta is changing every time the price of the stock go up or down. Actually, I want y'all to do some homework. That's your homework. Your homework is to learn how to do the Greeks. No, which one were you referring to? Fresh Fresher baby, I was referring to volatility, but in this case, it was not necessarily really one of the Greeks, but it is implied volatility. There are two types that I need y'all to understand. Realized volatility, that's what the stock actually did. Implied volatility is what the options market expect the stock to do. Implied volatility around earnings season is going to rise because we are buying protection or we betting on the move. We think Apple finna go the fuck up because they just had the iPhone 17 last quarter come out or whatever. We think SoFi finna go up, or we think Exxon finna go up, or we think Verizon finna go down. So a lot of investors do things because they think something finna happen. This is implied volatility. We think this shit finna do something, right? So after earnings, the implied volatility disappear, the IV will collapse. That is called IV crush. This is how you get robbed, even though you was right. If you bought calls because you thought the stock would go up, and it does go up, but not enough to beat the expected move that was priced into the options. They was like, look, okay, let's pretend Apple at $100 for shit's sake. It's at $100. They think it's either gonna drop down to 95 or it's gonna go to 105. If it don't beat expectations, you can still lose money. That's not the market being unfair to you. That's you not understanding the contract that you bought. Okay? You with me? Do some homework, study the Greeks, or get with me. We can do a 1v1. If you don't get it, we can make it simpler than that. Earnings also creates something called a gap risk. Okay, a gap risk. This means that the stock can jump from one price to another without trading in between, especially after hours or pre-market. JoJo know a lot about the pre-market. It just happened to Microsoft. It just happened to, let me see, Meta. Happened to Meta too. I mean, Meta shot up so much. I'm looking, what the hell going on? And everybody in the Discord like, yeah, they not giving a fuck about it because it's after hours. But to go up 6% overnight, 6% overnight. I thought I was reading it wrong. I'm like, am I reading this shit right? Do y'all think y'all can get 6% gains in the bank? Wild as hell, 808. It's gonna be some. Now remember, what did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all gonna happen? Didn't I tell y'all that it's either gonna be a continuation, consolidation, or correction? A continuation, consolidation, or correction. Move your mountains. To be honest with you, I can't explain. All I know is that I just was telling people yesterday that this company was ahead of their time with the metaverse. And as soon as the world catch up to what they had, we gonna be meeting up in TikTok and avatars and on some Ready Player One shit with some virtual reality goggles because you can. It's going. I just know Meta guys. They just ahead of their time. They bought WhatsApp. They bought Instagram. I can't tell you. Somebody in the chat know. Somebody tell us why Meta went up $44 overnight. Who knows? It's only a gain if you sell, and then you create a taxable event. So it's really not a 6%, is it? Well, we talking about the entire stock is Mars ready, but yes, it is not really a gain unless you actually sell it. Then now you talking about realized gains versus unrealized gains. And yeah, when you sell it, it does create a taxable event. So keep in mind about your capital gains and your capital losses. You can use the losses to offset. Go talk to a tax advisor. I don't want to get to giving out no advice in here. But yes, you are correct. But it is a gain, though. You can't say it's not a gain. You're not getting that in the bank. If you can't hold that shit till the time to sell it, then there's something wrong. That's what I'm saying. Like, you taking profit. If you letting that stop you from investing, a little tax. You don't know how much money you make. That's like saying, okay, I don't want to make that much money because I don't want to be taxed. What the fuck? No, am I tripping? Did that sound? maybe I'm twisting it because that's not what you said. I apologize for twisting your words because that's not what you said, but that's kind of what it sounded like. Mr. Nice Guy said, I'd rather take a loan out on the stocks and avoid the tax. Sound good to me too, Mr. Nice Guy. That don't sound bad at all. Crypto loophole. Put them on game, Well, that's coming at the end of the show, cringe. We're going to talk about a new crypto that I'm gonna talk about a crypto that just hit the scene. Hey, man, I always say sell to cover anything beyond your cost basis if you need it. I took profit on silver and bought this Bitcoin dip. I still got silver. Don't think I don't. I just took profit because damn, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I just said, fuck it. You know what? Bitcoin under 90K. What is we gonna do today? We're gonna barbecue or meal do, ladies and gentlemen. What I don't know what's going on. It's under 90,000. Who knows? Hopefully we might see 70K on Bitcoin. We might see 60K. But I'm gonna buy while it's at this level just in case. Just in case I don't make it home tonight. I'm gonna make love to you for the last time, baby. Looking at, I'm for real. I'm not finna let it go down and then not get in. And it can go up to 150, 175,000 this next leg up. But don't get me talking about Bitcoin and shit right now. I wanted to land this plane. I gotta land this plane, y'all. We talking about gap risk. Stop losses don't always save you around earnings season. Okay, the price can gap right past your stop loss and feel way worse than you expected. Okay, so this is the part where I want y'all to, don't think that the market was hunting your stop loss. No, you just pretty much walked into earnings. You walked into an earning event with a normal day risk mindset because you didn't consider that this was earnings, right? This is not a normal day. That's why you got to pay attention. All right, you just got a reminder that the earnings season is not a normal day. Earnings season got its pros and cons. Both of them matter, but the pros are that the earnings gonna give you a clean catalyst and a clear reason for the movement. Now you know why it's moving. You know why it went down. You know why it went up, right? It can start the trend that can last a week. It can last more than 3 weeks, right? It could create an opportunity for a mean ass reversion, or you can get a lot of momentum. I like the swing trade earnings. I like to do the strangle, the straddle. I like to do the strangle strategies on the earnings. Everybody know me. Why did Meta skyrocket? Cringe. Go ask ChatGPT. Go ask. Somebody asked me the other week if what I need you for if I can ask ChatGPT. Well then, that's my point, lady. You know what? As long as your ass asking me and not ChatGPT, I'm gonna be in business then. 199. No, I'm just playing, y'all. I'm really joking. I'm joking. It's not funny. I'm just joking. That's why I pressed this funny, but this laugh button. I think sitcoms had it, had it made. They can just press a damn fake ass laugh button. Who is laughing on these laughter things? They say them is all dead people laughing. We betting on the house on Apple tomorrow. I don't know about we. I don't speak French, pal. I don't know about you. I'm not betting the house on Apple tomorrow. No. But we could talk about it. So when Apple reports earnings, since you brought up Apple, it's not just about Apple. Apple is a monster inside major ETFs and indexes. So its movement can affect overall market sentiment. You understand? Do that make sense? They business is also a blend of hardware cycles and ecosystem revenue. So this is why investors treat this like both a consumer electronics company and a subscription style cash flow machine. Y'all know because y'all spend a lot of money with their ass every month. They take the money from you, right? You gonna pay them for them pictures. You gonna pay them for that storage every month. So it ain't just like they just selling phones and Apple TVs and Macs and shit and watches and headphones and This is why Apple can be seen as a potentially strong investment long term. Okay. It has a massive installed base, a strong brand pricing. It got strong brand pricing power, and it makes money not just from devices that we using, but also from the services. and the system that's connected to these devices that we own. So earnings is the moment that we gonna check whether this machine is still making that money or if it's starting to slow down. Somebody says Apple is retail, subs, and B2B. Right, business to business. All right, y'all. So a lot of rookies, they focus on did iPhone beat earnings, right? They like, okay, did iPhone beat, but the market look deeper than that. You want to pay attention to iPhone revenue, yes, but also you want to pretty much, the mix of what's sold. If higher end models are a bigger share of what's sold, then the margins can hold up even if the unit growth slows down. You also want to track the services. If the service revenue, see, I pay attention to earnings season. I don't just trade in the stock market. I want to know, what do you have planned going forward? I got my money invested into you. I want to know what the fuck y'all got going on. I'm going to take my money out and put it in a safer asset. I'm not just throwing my money into this company blindly. I want to know what they got going on. You need to track the services. The service revenue is going to be stickier and it's going to, again, give you higher margin. If the services growth stays strong, Wall Street usually give Apple a premium because it look less dependent on one hardware cycle. It ain't just about a hardware cycle. We gonna know if the pricing power is real fucking with Apple or whether the costs are just rising faster than the company can manage. And yeah, you got guidance and tone. Apple can move hard based on what they say about the demand, based on the supply constraints and what they expect going forward. Okay, even if the quarter that they reported looks fine, pay attention to the tone and what they say is gonna happen, because there's a lot of volatility around Apple earnings that's gonna happen just because the expectations are huge. Any questions? Y'all hear my moderator now. Appreciate you, JoJo. Any questions? Up in 5 hours. Thanks for great info. You here tomorrow night? Yes, I am. So whenever Apple have earnings, just keep in mind that the volatility around Apple is it's going to be huge because the expectations are huge. So even when a stock is so-called stable, it can still swing if the market is pricing perfection. The options market is usually going to price a meaningful expected move into the event. So implied volatility is more than likely going to rise. What do I mean by that? They usually say, "Hey, we think this shit gonna go up," and they price that into the options price. Keep that. So when you like, damn, why did the options get so expensive so fast? Y'all ain't never looked at an option and it cost this much. Then you look away for 30 seconds, come back and it costs more. The prices are going to change because the IV is changing. The expectations is changing. The market makers are changing the prices. We got MasterCard coming out with earnings. How many of y'all are invested in MasterCard? I got to get the fuck off Apple before I fall asleep talking about it my damn self. Put y'all to sleep. That's not what I'm trying to do. Anybody invested in MasterCard? They basically, you can basically, I use this as a read on global transaction activity, okay? This is not primarily a lender that takes credit risk on like a traditional bank. They run a payments network and they collect fees whenever the transaction happens. This is why people view MasterCard as a potential long-term compounder, because economies go digital and the card-based payments grow. The network can benefit from rising transaction volumes. The company's power will come from them scaling, their ability to scale up, they network effects, and the fact that it participates in spending without owning the full credit, the risk that the way that a lender does. Excuse me. Yeah, Meta went crazy. It did. Up a lot. And then you don't even see no earnings. It just went crazy. I have no reason why. But we in it though. How many of y'all already in it? How many of us got in metal back when it was $300-$400? $200, $100. We got Caterpillar. Caterpillar. Who know what Caterpillar is? This is another good company that you want to be invested in because of farming or agriculture. You happen to know if SoFi been beating their earnings in the past years, and it usually is very bullish? Yeah. Well, guess what? SoFi actually hasn't had its time to take the fuck off just yet. So you still have time to get on the boat before it, or to get on the train before it leaves. You feel me? I try to keep my answers simple. I don't want, because I can nerd the fuck out. You feel me? We nerd out over here though. But I'm just saying, to answer your question, yes and no. The earnings been all over the place. The price has been all over the place. Over the place. A guy who did some work for my stepdad when I was a kid and gave me a Caterpillar key. Yeah. Yeah. So that was your sign right there. Move your mountain. Caterpillar is also one of the cleanest windows into the industrial cycle. CAT, C-A-T, that's the ticker for Caterpillar. CAT is tied to construction. They also tied to mining, energy, and big infrastructure spending. So when the economy is expanding and capital expenditures are strong, Caterpillar tends to thrive. When demand slows, the stock will get punished because it's cyclical. Or cyclical. I always say that these words be whooping my ass, y'all. So I'm from the South. Somebody told me I don't have a speech impediment. I'm just Southern. I don't know whether to be offended or not. You don't talk fucked up. You just Southern. Oh shit. We got but no, volatility can hit cat too. Yeah, it can hit cat too. Yeah. You want to pay, it's like what do I mean by cyclical? It moves in cycles. Don't be offended. I'm not offended. I'm not. Consider that cat also going to be used to build all the new data centers. Smart. I'm in Birmingham. Yeah, I think yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that you an Alabamian. No disrespect. So the person that said that to me, I think is in Alabama. All right, so yeah, Visa. We went over MasterCard, we went over CAT, we went over Visa. I don't gotta say much about Visa. Y'all know, like it don't live or die on loan defaults the same way that lenders do as well. And I like to use this as a long-term wealth compounder as well. This is a good one. American Express. That shit different from Visa and MasterCard. American Express is more of a closed loop model that touches both the payments network side and the credit exposure side. Okay, so you want to track card member spending growth whenever you're looking at earnings, especially when it comes to travel and entertainment, because those categories are going to reveal confidence. You want to watch profitability metrics that's tied to how they monetize the base. And then you absolutely have to watch credit metrics. You got to pay attention to their delinquencies, the charge-offs, the loan loss provisions. A lot of people like, well, I don't want to pay attention to all this shit. Well, volatility around American Express when they have earnings can be sharper. We pay attention to this. I'm talking about this information because it's earnings season. I want you to know what's going on. SoFi, I'm gonna get to SoFi, my favorite one on the list. SoFi earnings is a masterclass in how growth stocks behave around expectations. This company is framed as a modern digital financial platform. They got lending, financial services, technology infrastructure pieces. All right, you can do a lot. And a lot of new age, these kids these days, they not gonna want to go to a physical bank. Thank you, Fresh. Thank you, Fresh MC and Amco. I appreciate y'all for the acknowledgement. Y'all are actually a great audience. Always so much positivity in my live streams. I love it. That you are the company that you keep. So I must be great because I keep great company. Now, SoFi is you know, one of those companies that it's a growth name. It can become a great investment if they execute and they build durable profitability, but it can also punish people who treat this like, a safe, stable blue chip because it's not. SoFi's earnings is where the market constantly rechecks the story. We looking for growth, trajectory, credit quality, forward guidance. We want to know where are you going as a company? Where y'all going forward? Going forward, where are you going? You know what I'm saying? What are your plans? Yeah. Member growth and product adoption matter because SoFi want to prove that it can cross sell and expand relationships, not just acquire accounts. That's what the obstacle that they need to tackle. Is Trump's credit rate 10% cap bad for SoFi? No. No, because they don't just solely rely on that, Dino. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, I always tie it around volatility so that y'all know that because that's the main part when you're dealing with earnings season. Volatility around SoFi and earnings is usually going to be extreme. Don't take my word for it. Just pay attention when the shit hit the fan. All right. Options implied volatility will get high. The high IV means that the options are what? The higher the IV, the options gonna be cheap or expensive, y'all? Somebody in the comment section let me know if the IV is high, if the implied volatility high, will the options contracts be cheaper or more expensive? Expensive as fuck, says 808. More y'all smart as hell. I really shouldn't be. I'm really like, I'm proud of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I could almost cry and shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all so motherfucking smart. No, I'm just playing. But look, volatility is something that can help you or it can hurt you if you don't understand it. That's why I ain't shut up about it. All right. It can be expensive. High IV means the options are expensive and the stock needs a bigger than expected move in order for it to reward you, for you to get paid. It's what fuck we talking about this shit for. Excuse my French. That is what we are referring to these. That's what we talking about this for, y'all. That's why rookies get smoked. They buy calls or they buy puts because they think that the direction is enough, but they didn't understand that the options market already priced in a huge move. It was already priced in. That used to be my name, said priced in. Because I could tell you when the shit is already priced in, you sitting here thinking, oh, but it's going to do this because of that. Oh, it's going to do that because of this. No, that shit already priced in, pal. They already considered that. Okay? You need to understand that the options market already consider the shit that you thinking about. After earnings, the IV crush can wipe the premium fast, okay? And again, SoFi is one of those stocks that can gap violently. It can gap violently. What do I mean by gap? It can shoot up and skip numbers. It can go up a lot or it can go down a lot and not even give you a chance to get out at a certain level to where you didn't lose a certain amount, or it can go up a lot and you didn't, I mean, so fast, you didn't even have a chance to get out at the top like you wanted to. Volatility. A high implied volatility is self-explanatory. Goose, I'm not joking. Yeah, I'm not joking. You gonna see, you'll know. You gonna know, pal. Good question, Goose. I want you to go. I want you to go buy. Go look up some contracts and go look at the IVs and look at the difference between all the contracts and the implied volatility. We got no kill. Service now good. Service now overreaction. Lulu sent 9. You're awesomes. Thank you, Lulu. Service now good despite beating earnings. Took a dump. I don't know what you're saying, Dino. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying. So yeah, Nokia. Y'all remember Nokia? This is one of those names that we remember from old phones. But if we ain't seen one of them old ass phones, we need to know that today the real business is network infrastructure. They have telecom equipment. They have software still tied to how the world moves data. Jojo told me Nokia is an old dog. Remember you said that, Jojo? It's an old dog. You know, sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That means you got it. It's gonna move how it move. Remember, it's an old dog. Yep, that's been woke up. Yeah. So again, the reason why Nokia can matter as an investment is not. I don't just got nostalgia, because I do. I used to play the hell out the snake game, but it's the fact that global networks keep upgrading. We got 5G build outs. We got private networks for enterprises. They using Nokia for secure communications. This company has a long-term push for faster, more reliable connectivity. NVIDIA had just entered the chat. Don't get me started, cringe. Don't get me started. So if Nokia executes, then it's simple. They will be positioned in a picks and shovels lane for connectivity. Y'all know what I mean by that? The picks and shovels. During the gold mine, the people that found the gold, I said during the gold mine, during the gold rush, the people that found gold, they wasn't the first ones to get rich. It was the people that was selling the damn picks and shovels. Okay? The demand for Nokia will not disappear. It will shift by cycle and customer budget. The risk, of course, is competition and pricing pressure, because telecom carriers are ruthless and they always want some cheaper gear. Them picks and shovels that found the gold. That's right. That's right, JoJo. Any questions? Y'all got any questions? Or do y'all want to mention anything? We got the NASDAQ. Y'all know what NASDAQ is? Somebody hit me up the other day and said, what is the NASDAQ? Y'all know what the NASDAQ is? This is not just a stock exchange. It is a market infrastructure and financial technology company that makes money from trading, listings, market data, and selling tech systems to other markets and institutions. Only reason I'm talking about this is because the markets may be emotional, but they are also non-stop machines. Non-stop machines. You get to choose whether this machine is a vacuum to your money or if it's a printer to your money. Trading happens, data gets sold, companies list and pay fees, and the whole financial system needs technology to function. The long-term investment thesis is that as markets become more electronic, global, and data-driven, NASDAQ's role as both a marketplace and a technology provider can compound steadily, even when the economy is messy. So they damn near the reason why we not, our granddaddies and great grandmamas and granddaddies and shit, they didn't have the ability to trade in the stock market on their cell phone, on the go. They didn't have a desktop computer with a candlestick chart in front of them. Granddaddy had to read the funnies. He had to read the funnies. I'm just playing. I basically mean the newspaper. Okay, I'm the one that read the funnies. Granddaddy wasn't reading no damn funnies. Nonetheless, whenever you're dealing with earnings, you want to watch for stability, growth, It's boring but powerful type of category, okay? We looking at market data revenue. We looking at the listing activity. We also want to pay attention to how the market volatility will impact trading related revenue, because sometimes the chaos actually increase the activity. When a lot of shit going on, a lot of people trading. All right. So this is the NASDAQ is great. It's a great teaching company because it's going to show you a different kind of investing. Right? Not chasing hype, but owning the plumbing that everybody use. Infrastructure. Who know about the Royal Caribbean Company? Anybody invested in Royal Caribbean? This is a consumer discretionary monster. They ride on travel demand, pricing power, and operational execution. The investment appeal here is that cruises are a unique product. What they said, what the lady be saying? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday looking at. They bundle lodging, entertainment, and travel into one experience. And when the demand is strong, cruise lines can flex pricing hard. So, you know, there might be a few more cruises. I don't know how the cruise has been doing, but you got Royal Caribbean. If you want to invest in that, there you go. We got, let's see what else we got on here. Parker, we got Blackstone. Blackstone is a giant in alternative asset management. For those that don't know, we got Lockheed Martin. That is a defense and aerospace national security type of company. The investment case there is tied to government spending, geopolitical reality, and long-term contracts. Lockheed Martin, they appeal to me because they got a strong backlog. They have a steady demand when global tensions rise. This is a war stock for me. I invest in this just to stay ready, and so I don't have to get ready when some shit pop off, right? They make jets, fighter jets, all type of shit. I don't trade this company around earnings. It's this is for disciplined investors and swing traders who understand risk. You understand me? We use defense names like this to teach how to interpret backlog and contract driven revenue. So you guys got to stop trading this like it's fucking Nike or something, because it's not. It's not. We got SanDisk. We got Western Digital. It's a lot of companies coming out with earnings for the rest of this week, though. I just want y'all to know. We got Verizon. Verizon is a defensive telecom name that a lot of investors look at for stability. And I like this company because of the dividends. But I don't really too much like the company. They get on my nerves, JoJo. But yeah, not just dividend high, but they got cash flow supporting the dividend. I like that. The business is stable. Verizon ain't doing too bad for themselves. I just don't like them anyways. But Chevron, we got, y'all know what we dealing with the oil. We just took a lot of fucking oil, so they integrated into oil and gas. All right. They have exposure to upstream production, refining, and broader energy economics. ExxonMobil. Y'all know about these companies coming out. Screenshot it. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. I'm about to actually transition into a moment in time where somebody like myself could have, invested into a stock market during a time where you would think that we wasn't investing into the stock market, right? I'm gonna tell y'all a story just because we so close. And if y'all got a problem with it, right? If you got a problem with me starting Black History Month early right now, I want you to exit stage left. I don't mind if this live get down to 2 people. Y'all can get the hell on if you got a problem with me starting Black History Month early. Since the month's so damn short, we about to pop it off early. And I want to talk about something that happened in time. And and it's true. It's a true story. This is based on a true story. Okay. All right. So a lot of schools barely cover this, even though it explains a lot about America's relationship with Black success. All right. Black success. We own the property. And it got a lot to do with who gets protected. So this is the Tulsa Race Massacre. May 31st to June the 1st, 1921, in the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma, sometimes called Black Wall Street. They named it Black Wall Street, ladies and gentlemen, okay? We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it real quick because it went down. It went down. This picture is AI generated, but it's okay. I'm going to use it for the sake of the story. Those other photos is real. All right, so look. Greenwood wasn't called Black Wall Street because it sounded cute. It was called that because it was a real economic ecosystem. Black-owned businesses, doctors, lawyers, barber shops. You understand me? You hear me? Y'all hear me? Put a fist emoji in the chat if you with me, if you locked in. I need you to see this with your third eye. Use your imagination to imagine a time in 1920, okay, when black people owned businesses. They were doctors, lawyers, barbershops. They owned brick houses with grand pianos inside of them. Okay, thank you, Move Your Mountains, for still being here. I appreciate you. I love people that are not married to one side of this story. Like, be open to hear what happened, because they didn't teach us this in school. And I was upset because a lot of my friends and family didn't talk about it or didn't know about it. And we talk about it a lot. This actually happened around Memorial Day. So I don't give a fuck about talking about Memorial Day if we're not going to remember this. Okay. So again, black-owned businesses, doctors, lawyers, barbershops, newspapers, theaters, groceries, hotels, and families owning homes and building wealth in an era where the country was designed to keep them from doing exactly that. Greenwood, okay? Greenwood existed in a time when segregation was law and practice. All right? It was legal. It was lawful to treat these people like animals, but it still became a thriving community. People in Greenwood didn't just have jobs, they had ownerships. They were building intergenerational wealth through land, business equity, and community circulation of dollars. And you got to understand this clearly. In 1921, a black community thriving like that, they wasn't treated as inspirational for everyone, ladies and gentlemen. This wasn't inspirational for everyone. Do you understand? Y'all with me? You hear me? Some people were upset about this. Some people were upset about this. For a lot of people in Tulsa, I'm going to say that, Greenwood was treated like a threat. The resentment didn't appear overnight, ladies and gentlemen. It lived there. It grew in the background. And then out of nowhere, it got a spark. Now, this spark that I'm speaking about, it is most commonly referenced with an incident involving a young black man named Dick Rowland and a young Caucasian elevator operator named Sarah Page. The exact details of what happened in that elevator are still debated and unclear. We don't know what happened in that elevator. Okay? We don't know. It's unclear. And that's important because it shows how quickly a rumor can become a death sentence when the system is already fucking loaded against you. And this ain't the Emmett Till situation, but it might as well be. All right. What is clear is that Rowland was accused and then arrested. And during that time, in that era, an arrest like that often meant something even worse was coming next. A lynching. A lynching isn't just a schmurder by a mob. This is a public terror. This is meant to send a message to an entire population outside Can y'all imagine? I don't think y'all can imagine. I ain't trying to get into nothing like that, but I really am though, because like I said, we gonna pop the quote unquote Black History top off early, since that's what we gonna do is spend time. When y'all want to take one time out the year to talk about some shit, y'all know we do it all year round, but I just want to bring emphasis to it, tie it back to the stock market, tie it back to money, tie it back to economy, so that you can remember what the fuck we do this for. Know why we are investors. Know why we are doing ownership, entrepreneurship, because we come from a people who did entrepreneurship and ownership and had ownership. We don't come from knuckle draggers, tree dwellers. Okay, we were business owners, entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, barbers, hairdressers, we ran newspapers at the time. We owned theaters at the time, hotels during this time. Okay, don't get it twisted. The people who were hung were business owners, sheriffs, government officials. They wasn't just officials. They wasn't just hanging regular niggas. All right, no offense to the regular niggas, but anyways. So this elevator shit pop off. They make a newspaper and it goes worse than that. Word spread that a mob was gathering at the courthouse where young Dick Rowland was being held, the young brother, the YN at the time. Now the YN, he had took a job shining shoes at this hotel or whatnot, but they made him go down the block to piss and shit at the Colored's restroom, down the block, up the road, up the elevator. So he had to get on this elevator with this lady to go use the restroom in a building he wasn't even working in. I guess the elevator got shaky for whatever reason. He fall on her. I don't know. They don't know. We don't know. All we know is you better not get caught up in no elevator with no white woman in 1921, or this could happen to you. Word spread that the mob was gathering at the courthouse where Roland was being held because Buddy ran out the building and got arrested. They said that he raped her. Greenwood residents, many other veterans who had served in World War I understood what mobs did, right? So we got an angry white mob meeting at the courthouse trying to kill Rowland. Then you got black men who fought in World War I, understanding that they probably about to lynch him, so they popping up there with their guns. They also understood that the police and the courts didn't always protect black people from mob violence. So a group of black men went to the courthouse to offer help protecting Rowland and to keep him from getting lynched. Okay? Y'all with me? Stay with me. Stay with me. They went up there to try to keep him from getting lynched, because they know that's usually what happened. This is where the situation went from just being tense to explosive. Depending on what was written on different accounts, there was a confrontation, there was a struggle. Somebody said, I've read where one of the white men was like, "What you doing with that gun?" He tried to take the gun from one of the niggas, and the niggas is shots fired. And yeah, the first outbreak of gunfire is still argued about. But what's not debated is the violence escalated into a full assault on Greenwood. It turned into a real assault on the entire neighborhood got to go. Right? White men from all around the neighboring communities and cities and towns gathered. They even went and hopped in planes and dropped bombs and sticks of dynamites on top of these niggas. It got ugly. Let's be brutally clear about what happened, ladies and gentlemen. People often try to soften this shit into a riot, like it was just two sides that were equally fighting in a street brawl, but that wasn't it. This was an attack on a community. White mobs moved towards Greenwood and violence started to spread. Homes and businesses were looted and set on fire like a bunch of fucking monkeys was doing this to them, okay? A bunch of monkeys set homes and businesses on fire. People were shot. Families ran. I might get kicked off TikTok. Let me calm down. Let me shut the fuck up and calm down. A lot of them tried to defend their blocks. Many had nowhere to go. And by the end of it, Greenwood's business district and residential areas were devastated. We talking about dozens of blocks burned and destroyed. Okay. They blew the block up. Over 1,000 homes damaged or completely leveled. Thousands of black residents were displaced. People lost not only money, they lost proof of life. They lost deeds, records, inventory, savings, family heirlooms, the physical evidence of what they built. Tiffany said this was done to numerous black Wall Streets across the country. Right, Tiffany. That make it even, like, geez, Louise. Jeez. And it wasn't just Tulsa. Right. It wasn't just Tulsa. All right. So one of the most chilling and unique details about Tulsa is the documented use of airplanes. This is the part that freaked me the fuck out. There is evidence and multiple historical findings that planes were used for surveillance and intimidation, and that some attackers used them to fire into the district and drop bombs. This is not a movie. This happened in America not too fucking long ago. So when people ask, how could this happen in the United States? Yeah, it happened because the institutions that should have stopped it was either in on it, in the fucking planes with them. Let's just put it that way. Or complicit. Ain't nothing else to put it. And then they act like they didn't happen, like it didn't happen. They grandkids act like it didn't happen, and their grandkids act like it didn't happen. And in fact, they say things like, "Oh, well, that wasn't us who did it. We didn't do that. Forget about it. Forget about it." You fucking mooly, forget about it. That's how we, But anyways, and yes, we have to talk about law enforcement and government response, because this wasn't just random citizens. You got reports and historical investigations that described how large numbers of white men were armed and how some of them were deputized. I'm going to say that again so y'all can understand how fucked up this was. They went to giving some of these motherfuckers badges just for the event. On the way to go fuck these niggas up. They like, hey, here, you get a badge. You get a badge. You get a badge. You got the right to fuck them up. Listen, we finna go fuck them up. And y'all got, like, deputization means being temporarily given official authority, which in practice can mean a mob suddenly has a badge-shaped excuse to fuck niggas up. Black residents were also rounded up and detained in large numbers. Yeah, they put them in detention centers, and release could require a white person to vouch for them. Imagine surviving an attack on your neighborhood and then being treated like you the motherfucking problem. That's the kind of upside down shit, upside down ass justice that make people stop trusting the entire system for generations. You think you're gonna forgive that shit? When the smoke cleared, the official death toll reported at the time was much lower than what many historians and community accounts suggest. The commonly cited official number is 36, right? That's what they want to write down. They want to make it seem it's only 30. But a lot of researchers believe the true number could be anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 people. They don't know. We can't pin it down. They don't know. Then comes the part that hits hard if you're teaching people about wealth, right? Insurance and rebuilding. A lot of black property owners tried to file claims for what was destroyed. Insurance companies refused to pay these niggas, sometimes using riot clauses or other exclusions. I'm sorry, ancestors, for calling them y'all niggas. Y'all know what I'm saying? But I just want to drive the point home. You understand? Calling this shit a riot is convenient if you are an institution that don't want to pay for what happened. Or if you want to, this shit was coordinated. The community was hit twice. First with the actual violence that destroyed their assets, and then with financial systems that refuse to restore them. This is not just tragedy. This is how wealth gets erased. You dropped a bomb on me, baby. That's deep. I ain't know that, MC. I ain't know that. So even though Greenwood residents tried to rebuild, they rebuilt, you know what I'm saying, because they had to. They rebuilt because quitting wasn't an option. Yeah. Yeah. You can't stop this shit. They rebuilt because ownership and community was everything. They rebuilding after a massacre while being denied resources, while being blamed, and living under the knowledge that the same forces could come at your ass again. That will change you as a community forever, right? When you be changed. And over time, you know, even if they did fix the neighborhood and build construction over highway construction, and man, Greenwood didn't just get hit by the fire, y'all. It got hit by decades of decisions that made recovery harder than it needed to be. So why am I talking about this right now at the end of my trading and investing show? Because you can't separate wealth from power, and you cannot separate power from who gets protected. Greenwood shows what ownership can do, and it shows what can happen when success threatens a social order built on inequality. And it's also a warning. If you let people rename the truth, they can dodge accountability. We're not letting nobody dodge accountability. Okay? And stop calling this shit a riot. Massacre sounds like what it was. An assault, destruction, and terror inflicted on a community. We need redress. We need to stop asking for reparations and look up the word redress. REDRESS. Black people need redress. I ain't saying black people. I'm just saying so-called black people, because I know y'all not a crayon color. We got to stop referring to each other as adjectives. They think we don't know the 8 parts of speech. Did I say 8 parts of speech? Did I really say that? Presentation is appreciated and honorable. Oh, no doubt, Tiffany. Thank you. And mainly, like, if y'all watching this live and you here to build wealth, I want you to understand something. Wealth is not just numbers on the screen, okay? So you might see us in here chopping it up about numbers on the screen, right? But it's actually property rights. It's access to protection. It's legal systems that either defend you or ignore you. That's wealth too. It's the ability to pass something down without it being stolen. That's wealth. Without it being burned. This is why if you need a trust, I can help you get a trust. I can help you get life insurance policy and put your life insurance policy in the trust so that you can build an estate. I dedicated my life to making sure we can build wealth. Not just me, but the people around me. I am more than happy to bring the financial literacy back to y'all. And if you want to join me on this journey and learn financial literacy like they never taught it to us in school, so we can pass down this generational wealth, right? We can grow these assets, protect the assets, and pass the assets down. But you cannot be a trader or a gambler and you don't have a solid financial foundation. We got to stop that shit. We got to get back to where we were, right? We're going forward, because the windshield is bigger than the fucking rearview mirror. Even though we just looked in the rearview mirror and back in time and where the fuck we was, we got to look forward to where we going. You feel me? Y'all drop a W in the chat or hit the follow button if y'all understand what I'm saying. If y'all get what I'm saying, y'all understand and overstand, let me know. Also, let me know what city and state you listening from. If you are serious and you interested in being a better investor, getting your retirement account started, like actually start investing, getting into the stock market, learning how to be a trader, inbox me your name and your number and the best time to call you. If you don't have life insurance and people depend on you and you want to leave behind a legacy, inbox me your name and your number and the best time to call you. Okay, so we can build you a legacy. And you need to start putting these assets into trust and pass this wealth down. That is my goal, is to help as many people as possible generate assets and pass those assets down with instructions. With instructions, so that they know how to keep those assets and they know how to pass the assets down too. Okay? That was interesting. I didn't know that. I did not know that either, Movie Mountain. So yeah, I enjoy y'all company. I appreciate y'all for sticking in the live this long. I think I've been on about a couple of hours. Let's see. Yeah, I've been on an hour and 34 minutes. That ain't that long. That ain't that long. So yeah, I pretty much seen this guy on TikTok, and he was talking about he made a coin, and I'm like, well, a coin, these meme coins. So somebody made a meme coin, and I just feel like you know, this is how I feel when I see meme coins. But I bought some, and the shit already up. It's called Black Wall Street coin or Tulsa coin, right? And it's Black History Month too. A lot of people might buy that shit just because of the name, just because of it. So I just went ahead and grabbed it. Somebody says, name of the band named Greenwood, Archer and Pine, the streets at the entrance of the neighborhood. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. What city and state are y'all listening to me from? Drop y'all city before I go to the next topic. Thanks for sharing that story. No doubt, moving around, I have to. I'm actually going to share more stories like that the entire month of February, and it's going to all be tied to wealth. We got Fredericksburg in the building, Virginia in the building, Atlanta in the building, North Carolina in the building. What's up? What's up? Who else? Who else? Who else? Where y'all at? Dallas, Texas. Okay. Okay. I got free 1v1s if you are in Nevada, if you are in Texas, Indiana, and Georgia. Go ahead and inbox me because I'm licensed in those states and I'm working on the other states. Matter of fact, I got all of y'all. Inbox me your name and your number and the best time to call you. If you interested, I got you. And I'm doing that to help you build an estate. You need a trust. You need an investment account. You need life insurance. You might need a will. But that's what we do. We build wealth over here, and we don't just talk about it. We be about it. So don't just be in here listening. The power of execution is real, right? You got all this knowledge, but knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. My daughter is in Nevada. Okay, move your mountains. You could. You qualified in. Inbox me. JoJo, you know already know. Jersey in the building. What up? New York City. What up? I ask y'all these things for a reason because when I do seminars, in some of these states, I want to see how many people that already follow me are in that state. I send out a wait list or something like that to you if I know I'm coming to your area. Right? So hit the link in the bio, and why don't all y'all join the Discord? The link is in my bio. I would love for y'all to join the community, and we can keep in touch with each other. Let me get Auntie off the front of the phone. Get Auntie off the front of y'all screen. If I was in Tulsa, you weren't gonna do shit. They would have set your ass on fire, Cedric. I would have tried though. Here you talking about for the ancestors. All right, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. I thank y'all for tuning in and listening to my intrusive thoughts. Tabitha, it's okay. I'll more than likely post a replay on YouTube in case you missed anything. You know, you ain't missed nothing. A bunch of my corny ass dad jokes or whatnot. And I offered everyone in here a chance to call me if they inbox me their name and number. And the best time to call, I'll give them a call and help them out with opening a trust, opening up a retirement account. Maybe you need a budget. Maybe you need to fix your credit. Maybe you need to open a business. I can teach you how to register your business with sam.gov so that you can do business with the federal government. I help people do a lot of things, but I need to know what you need help with, and I don't if you don't get on the phone with me, okay? All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all night. Wait a minute. Hit the follow button if you haven't already, right? What is you doing? Hit the follow button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another live. You miss my lives because you didn't hit the notification bell. Good night, everybody. Thank y'all for taking the time out y'all night or y'all morning to say good night. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, y'all. All right.